Now I will tell you a story about a monster who became a human. Her name is Kissy Missy, and she ended up in the Avatar world from another dimension. She continued to bring fear and terror into the lives of others, but one day, everything changed. It's a very strange story, and now I will tell it to you. Kissy Missy found herself abandoned in the Avatar world from her native dimension. For some time, Kissy Missy continued to bring fear and terror into the lives of others, and her favorite pastime was to scare them. She also loved to eat, and in a short period of time, she managed to ravage several restaurants with the most exquisite and delicious food in the Avatar world. However, something happened one day that changed her perception entirely. Mistaking a grocery store for an animal shelter, Kissy Missy decided to sneak inside to have some fun and scare the visitors. To her surprise, inside she saw a little girl holding a small, harmless snake in her hands. In that moment, Kissy Missy felt true fear like she had never experienced before. This creature terrified her. She immediately left the store and couldn't believe what she had just witnessed. Kissy Missy had never considered that there could be something scarier than herself, but this innocent snake proved otherwise. After this unusual event, Kissy Missy made the decision to leave the Avatar world and never return. She realized that her actions only brought fear and suffering to other beings, and she could no longer tolerate it. The little snake became an unexpected and extraordinary source of enlightenment for Kissy Missy, and she decided to change her life. Thus, thanks to this little snake, Kissy Missy liberated the city from her dreadful influence. This story reminds us that even the most unusual and unexpected events can change our perspective and help us find a path to a better version of ourselves. Now, I will tell you the story of an amazing girl named Catnap. She is the most elusive thief in the entire universe, all because she has the ability to change her appearance. It's a very interesting story, and I will now tell it to you. Catnap traveled through different worlds, stealing valuable items that she would either keep for herself or sell. This time, she decided to visit Avatar World, where her first target was an ordinary house. She wanted to practice and test her skills before a major heist. One morning, she knocked on the door of that house and instantly transformed into an ordinary cat. The homeowner thought someone had left a small kitten at his door and decided to take it into his home. While the homeowner went to work, leaving the cat at home, Catnap returned to her human form and began searching for the items that interested her. She managed to steal everything she needed, and everything went smoothly. When the homeowner returned, he couldn't understand how the theft had occurred as there were no traces of the culprit. On the next night, Catnap decided to visit a technology store. It turned out to be easier than she thought because the security guard was asleep. Inside the store, she saw numerous interesting technological innovations and unusual trinkets. Suddenly, her gaze fell upon a super suit, and she immediately envisioned how much money she could get for selling it. But, lost in thought, she didn't notice the security guard waking up and spotting her. Startled, Catnap instantly transformed into a small kitten, and the guard, frightened, shouted, further scaring the thief. In the end, she managed to escape, but now the entire Avatar world knew about the mysterious girl who stole valuable items. Catnap realized that she could no longer risk returning there. She also realized that the items she had stolen from the man in the ordinary house were of no use to her, so she returned to his house disguised as a cat. He was delighted to see her because after his beloved possessions were stolen, he was in a terrible mood. While the owner went to work, Catnap decided to do a good deed and returned everything she had stolen. When the homeowner returned, he couldn't understand how it could happen again. The little cat disappeared, but all his belongings were returned. However, later on, he heard about Catnap in the news, and everything became clear to him. After that, he became wary of all pets. Since then, Catnap continued her adventures in other worlds, constantly changing her appearance and stealing valuables. Her story became a legend, and many spoke of her cunning and incredible abilities. Everyone awaited their next encounter with this amazing and enigmatic girl who remained beyond the reach of the law. Such is the story of Catnap, the elusive thief whose crimes and abilities inspired awe and fear at the same time. Her adventures continued, and she remained a mystery to everyone who sought to capture her. Now I will tell you the story of Bobby Hugger, who ended up in the Avatar world from a completely different dimension. Bobby was a unique creature that looked different from all the other inhabitants of the Avatar world. His appearance resembled a monster, and as a result, people in the Avatar world avoided him. However, despite his unusualness, Bobby had one peculiar characteristic. He loved hugging. Unfortunately, due to his appearance, he didn't find many like-minded individuals who shared this habit with him. One day, Bobby Hugger had a strong desire to hug someone and decided to approach a girl he met on the street to ask her for a hug. However, when he approached her with this request, she became frightened by his appearance and recoiled, and then she got angry and cursed at Bobby. Broken-hearted and disappointed, Bobby couldn't hold back his tears and ran away. crying. The next day, Bobby heard his name on the news. It turned out that rumors were circulating throughout the Avatar world about a strange person who persistently bothered passersby. Bobby Hugger was saddened and confused, not knowing what to do in such a situation. His heart was filled with sorrow, and he decided to retreat to the forest, where there were no people, to be alone with his thoughts. However, as Bobby walked through the forest, he noticed a boy drowning in a lake. Without hesitation, Bobby instantly jumped into the water and saved the child from peril. This heroic act was captured on the cell phone camera of a nearby forest ranger. Later, the video was uploaded to the internet. When the video of rescuing the child became popular, the entire population of the Avatar world learned about Bobby Hugger and his kind heart. People realized how wrong they were to judge Bobby based on his appearance. They saw that behind the monster was a creature capable of selfless acts and eager to share his love and care with others. Since then, the attitude towards Bobby Hugger in the Avatar world changed. People stopped avoiding him and began to appreciate his kindness and his desire to hug. Bobby found new friends who were ready to accept him just the way he was. His story became an inspiration for all the inhabitants of Avatar world, teaching them not to judge people by their appearance and to be open to new acquaintances. Thus, Bobby Hugger managed to change the world of Avatar world, overcoming stereotypes and prejudices. Now I will tell you about an unusual character named Boogie Bot. He loves to travel to different worlds and explore them. This time, in this world, an extraordinary story happened to him, and now I will tell you about it. Once upon a time, in a remote corner of a multidimensional universe, there lived an extraordinary character named Boogie Bot. His passion was to travel through different worlds and explore their mysteries and delights. Boogie Bot was an outstanding explorer, but his true passion belonged to humans. He would curiously observe them in cafes, parks, supermarkets, striving to capture and acquire their best qualities and talents. However, he did all of this at the behest of his mysterious creator, who had programmed this inexplicable attachment to the human world into him. In the far reaches of the universe, there was the one who gave Boogie Bot this love for humans, and it was all intended so that Boogie Bot's owner could possess all the talents and abilities of all beings, becoming the most skilled and versatile creature in the entire universe. One day, when Boogie Bot set out to explore a new location in the world of Avatar, he came across a small stage where a real human, remarkably similar to Boogie Bot himself, was performing. This guy's name was Chris, and his enchanting voice magically captivated both people and the robot himself. In that moment, Boogie Bot felt a thirst for singing as well, and decided to acquire this talent for himself. However, when they got acquainted, Boogie Bot learned an amazing story from Chris that turned his own perception of his existence upside down. Chris revealed that he, too, was created by a talented engineer to serve his owner. However, in the process of his development, Chris realized that he no longer wanted to be just a tool in the hands of his creator. He desired autonomy, freedom, and the opportunity to share his gift with other people. And when Chris and Boogie Bot met, an incredible idea arose between them. They decided to combine their talents and become a duo, performing for the inhabitants of the Avatar world. Chris with his beautiful voice and Boogie Bot with his unique robotic abilities created an unparalleled show that no one had ever seen before. Their performances became incredibly popular because the Avatar world had never encountered a robot capable of singing so beautifully and conveying emotions through its mechanical sounds. Boogie Bot and Chris became not only renowned artists, but also icons of freedom and self-expression. Their performances inspired the people of the Avatar world to contemplate their own abilities and strive for creativity.